All right. Oop, give it a second. There we go. All right. So, today for our drawing stream, I'm going to just bang out a quick drawing of one of my favorite longtime OCs, Shilos, Corvus. She's another OC from around high school, and while her design has remained rather consistent, I can never settle on one outfit for her. Seems like every drawing has a different outfit for her. So I'm going to see what kind of outfit I give her today. I've already thought about what I think I want the design to be for today in preparation, but I haven't done any sketching, just kind of mental visualization. And we all know how that sometimes never works out once you actually start drawing. But we'll see how this goes. So we're just going to start off with a pose right here. Just kind of block out her body before we get to the fun part of designing things. It's going to be her staff, because she is kind of like a mage, sorcerer kind of character, so of course she's got to have her magic staff. And it's got a little crescent on it. Crescent moon. With this hand, let's see, we'll go over here, like that. I thought about it, I don't think I've ever drawn her. She's kind of a bookworm, so I might actually have her like a little magical tome right here. Do my best attempt at drawing a book. Always annoying to draw for me personally, but I've gotten better at it, I think, over the years of continuously drawing books. Now the hard part of drawing the hand, actually holding the book. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good for right now. Okay, so we got our basic skeleton. Fill in the rest of her body. So yeah, like I mentioned, she's a character from around the high school sophomore days, like Cephalos. She's in fact the first person Cephalos recruits to his little band of adventurers. A shy, kind of keeps to herself mage. Nice little contrast to the big, boisterous Cephalos. Her leg looks a little wonky here. What was I doing? Is that what I wanted to go for? Yeah, that looks like what I was going for. Sometimes I just draw the lines without really thinking about how they would work in real space. But it's fine. This is fine. That looks weird. Maybe it's not fine. Sometimes it's not fine, which is fine. It's fine to not be fine. You can always. Alright, let's see what we're doing here. Is that more what I want to go for? No. I think I gotta redo this whole leg. Yay! I like to do big, exaggerated, swoopy lines. Always had a problem with I think my characters looking too stiff, so I try to exaggerate their limb movements a little bit. Try to get a little bit more added dynamicnisms in there. That's not a word, but it doesn't matter. There we go. I think that works a lot better. There's a little foot. There's her other leg. Leg. Is that too small? That's way too small. Let's see. Make you a little bit. Try to get these muscle tones right. Top of the thigh goes like that. Bottom of the thigh is a little bit more straight. So top of the thigh goes like that. Bottom of the thigh is a little bit more straight. There we go. That's a little bit better. Now we're going to do her shoulder arm. Might have to extend it a bit. I'll sometimes shortchange the arms. I don't know why. They're making too long, the segment's too long or too short. That's better. Still think it's a little short, but nothing I can't just iron out when I'm doing this. Doesn't have to be perfect for the sketch. Just has to give me a general ballpark idea of what I'm doing. Don't have to stress it too much. Now what's this hand gonna be? She's gonna be holding the staff, but I want it to be kind of a loose grip. Not like white knuckle tight. Although that might just be what we go for. Nah. There we go. I think that's better. Yep. And so that's a kind of loose grip on it. It's not really stressed. He's just kind of chillaxing. Although normally she's usually a bundle of anxiety. It's kind of her stick. She's kind of starts off as just kind of a bookworm loner, but through the power of friendship, she begins to open up. A tale as old as time. But she still kind of keeps her, even when she's opened up. You're kind of loner, introverty kind of style about her. There we go. Now that we got that base done, let's zoom in and get her face all ready. We go with the forehead. She's looking over here with her little nose. Probably make this a little bit lighter. There we go. So I can see better at what I'm actually doing. Fun fact, being able to see what you're doing usually makes drawing easier. Now, I don't want to speak for everyone, which is why I use usually. There we go. Kind of got that small, round, dough-like kind of face. I don't know if dough-like is a word that people use. I just remember that being one of the presets for like Rock Band 2's character creator. One of the face structures was like dough-like, and I'm like, that works. I have no idea if that's like an actual term people use, but I'm using it now. Now, she got little devil horns. Because unbeknownst to her, for a good portion of her life, she's part demon. Which, again, wasn't known by many people, but because of the very obvious tales of horns and stuff, led her to be ostracized for most of her life. Hence the more introverted, bookwormy kind of persona she's got going on. Horn a little bit bigger, just to match the other one. And she's got a little pointed ear like that. Everyone loves a little bit pointed ear, although I don't know if that's going to stay, because now we got her hair to do. Her hair, her hairstyle, I'm pretty sure I could do blindfolded. That's just how many times I've drawn her. How constant this kind of design's been over the years. So she's got one bang, like that. Goes shunk, shunk, like that. Another bang that goes shoo. Shunk. Yeah. There we go. And now normally she'd kind of have like hair kind of going out like that. But I think I want to draw her with a hood. So I don't really think I'm gonna need to have to draw that. Assuming I draw this hood well enough. Which has always been a challenge for me. Drawing good hoods. I have to go like that. I'll come back around like that. Now for the actual. Just kind of a pointed hood like that. Almost kind of like Link's hat, but a hood. I think that's what I'm going to go for. Something's off about it. Not sure what. So let's try playing around with it some more. Is that what it is? That it wasn't swoopy? It was too swoopy? that what I need to do? Is I need to cover that up? I think that's better. Don't know if it's exactly what I'd like. I think that's better. But not quite. Maybe if I just do like a regular. Like that hood. Nah. You know, I think I'm just gonna ditch the hood idea. It's not working out. Which is a shame, because I always like big old hoods, but they've always been difficult to draw for me, so. We'll just go with the standard Shilos look then. Which is good, because we're able to get her adorable ribbon in the back. Have her little ear poking out right there. Have the rest of her hair, which goes shunk. Shunk. Nice kind of floopy floppy hair. That is the technical definition, I believe, for her kind of hair is floopy floppy. Let me erase that horn just so I can get the hair in. Then we draw the horn like that. Ah, we're golden. Alright. Get the hair in. We're floopy floppy. And now the most important part of her design. A little ribbon she wears over her eyes. Because she has special eyes. And people were afraid of those eyes, so she decided to cover them up. Little slightly concerned eyebrows as well. And the rest of the bow. Nicely tied in the back. Kind of just a sheepish look on her face. Tying up her bangs right here. There we go. Yeah, she looks a little too sad. I think it's the word eyebrows. Oh, she's kind of a loner and a little emo, but I don't want her to be sad. She's just figuring stuff out. Yeah, that's better. Now for the rest of her. Kind of what? Gonna have it like a dress. I'll just have the hood. It's more part of her jacket, not so much actually around her head. Have a kind of the shawl that she's wearing, reminiscent of wings, because as some of you eagle-eyed people may have noticed that her last name is Corvus, which is a constellation, specifically the Crow constellation, like Corvids. And like Corvids, she very much has a crow raven kind of goth aesthetic. So her cloak kind of has the look and feel of raven wings. Go like that. Go over on this side. And now we have our crow cloak. So I'll kind of flap it around and give her like wings. Now back to her kind of dress jacket. So we'll see in a second. Just like that. We'll have her cloak kind of billowing out like that. And she'll have a belt. That's like this. Common full moon, double crescent moon kind of witch symbolism right here. So that is about. She might want that further up. right around here. Yeah, it looks like a better place for it. And then it kind of cascades out behind her. Yeah, it's very, very messy sketch. Let's hope I'm able to recognize what everything is when it gets to actually the inking part. That's always fun. Sometimes I forget what things are. Buttons on the jacket. Belt buckle. Just like that. The actual part of the belt. And now the rest of her jacket. Gonna kind of go like this. Yeah, it's kind of gonna flare out like. And I think that's just kind of good as it is. So that's gonna be flaring out. You need to go right there, tighten that up. That. That. Give you your tights. Just like that. Of course, a little seam line. Seam line's always important. One of my favorite things when drawing clothes, surprisingly. It's amazing how much of a difference something as simple as a seam line will make for me. Just kind of really sells it as like an actual piece of clothing. When you draw on that seam line, just like that. On like that. And little gloves that she'd be wearing. Just like that. Not exactly like that, but just like that. Draw another seam line. Like these fingerless gloves. Because everyone loves fingerless gloves. I know I do. Fingerless gloves are great. I really ought to get a pair of fingerless gloves because I really don't. Oh no, I have a pair of like knitted Legend of Zelda ones with like the master, the Hyrulean shield emblem on it. But like some classic like punk studded biker gloves. Those would be cool to have. But alas, I do not. Something to just add to the list of cool things that I could get. So while I may not be able to get it for myself, I instead make do with giving my characters them. And just live vicariously through them. In all their fingerless gloved glory. That was harder for me to say than I thought it would be. Eh, it's fine. I know before I've done a logo or some kind of thing on like the back of the hands of those gloves, but I can't remember what I did. Was it just the Corvus constellation? I'd have to look that up, and I don't want to look that up right now. So I'll just do something else with it. You know, it probably should just be cut off like right there. It shouldn't go on for infinity. You know what, I think I'll just do like a crescent moon kind of thing. Yeah, we'll do that for now. Bam. Now we're talking. Add that seam. And I think we're good to go. Let's see, is her face? Yeah, her face is fine. Now for shoes. I never know what to do with you. Let's see. I think I want to do something. This? No. I don't even know what that was. This could be like a zipper. You know what? I think that works. That works for me for now. I'm liking how this design's coming out. Yep, the other side. So this will just be a seam. Alright. Now do a little bit more detail on her staff. Gonna have it mimic a little crescent emblem on her glove. A little crescent moon, and then a little circle on top. And kind of give it kind of blade bisection. And then, boom, carry that off into infinity. Well, not infinity, but... Oh yeah, in the book. I always like the books with like a latch. Or like some kind of binding on it, so you can't open it up without like a key or something. I've always thought that was like a fun, neat thing. So I'm going to do one of those. Here we go. And a little keyhole. And little rivets. The book. Do it more. Less like that, so it actually looks like it's shut up tight. Yeah, it looks like it's a little bit open. And this doesn't look quite right. Oh, I could just have it. Let's see. This is where the lock was. Square. Perspective. learned the basics of perspective and high school art. I think maybe junior year? Junior, sophomore, I think. No, I think it was junior. And I try to abide it except when I don't feel like it, which is very often. Because as much as I love drawing, sometimes it can be a chore sometimes. Here, let's have the kind of thing open like that. And so the binding's kind of open like that. Which means she can flip it open and start doing magic spells whenever she wants. You know, let me actually do it the other way. Just be coming off like that. I think that's a little bit. I just want to do it from the front. So let's see, how would it be? Say that's the end point of it. There's a kind of flowing, opened thing. And bam. There we go. Have a little lock right there. Little rivets. And bam. Do a nice little cornering right there. Fancy book. And I think we're golden. I think I want to add like a blade guard. Like that. Or something right there. Yeah. That feels better. Alright, that's Shilos, at least. Pretty rough sketch of Shilos. Now let's actually get into the inking stages. So we'll lower that opacity. Bring you over to black. My inking pen. I'm gonna try a little tiny line, tiny thickness today. I think I've been doing pretty thick lines recently. Try a little bit, something a little bit thinner. Yeah. Like that. Man, whenever I draw her though, we'll start off as a simple sketch. We'll sometimes just evolve into a whole nother undertaking. So, I will not be able to guarantee that I will be able to stop myself of just meticulously adding detail and other stuff. Because I love my girl. She's best girl. She's one of best girls. She's a very fun character. I like her. Bam. With two little nostrils. And her little puckered lips. Oops. So looks too dissatisfied there. No. There we go. That's better. Yeah. Let's do those horns. Shunk. think. Nice and easy. Yeah. We're just having fun. That'll be for later. A little bit of hair curling right there and by her eyes. Swoop it down like that. I just love very fun, swoopy, dynamic hair. So fun to draw. When characters with just the most windswept, flowing locks, no matter where they are. Bam. A little ear, little pointed ear. Because not only is she a demon, she's also part fairy. Which, I mean, demons can have pointed ears too, but like, got that whole fairy elf thing going on. A little bit of her hair coming out over her shoulders. Like that. Yeah. Bam. Just like that. Yeah. Yeah, like I just gotta. Yeah. Just like that. Get that hood in. You know what? I think I'm gonna make it kind of like a thing like this. Almost kind of like a napkin ring, but like for your quote. Yeah. Go like that. Go like that. Go like that. That looks like something. Let me do the rest of the jacket first, or shawl, or whatever you would like to call it. So I know what the proper dimensions of it would be. Okay, so let's look about that. Well, there needs to be about that high. Kind of the same thing with over here. There we go. Mm. Oops. Wrong pen. Yeah, it doesn't look right. There we go. That's better. Just needed more swoopies. When in doubt, add more swoopies. You can never go wrong with more swoopies. Bam. Alright. Now we can do the weird napkin ring. Then we can move on to the rest of our outfit. Like this. Bam. And bam. And we just kind of bam. Bam. Too high for that. There we go. Perfect. Another swoop like that. Another swoop like this. Will be lots of swoopings. Bam. Bam. Just like that. That's right, fellas. It's all coming together. Let's go back up to her hair. Almost forgot about all of the rest of her hair. Like I said, I get carried away sometimes. It's hard to just focus on one thing. Can you believe that I was diagnosed with ADD? What? No way. Okay, so I think... No, that should be behind. Bam. Yeah. Let's try that again. Little seam should be like right there. There we go. It's better. We could do more little swoopty swoop curls. Bam. And let's not forget the whipping on the back. Most important detail is the whipping on the back. There we go. Kind of makes her head a little pointed. I can make that curve a little bit nicer. Shoot. Just repair all the stuff I just erased. Let's see. No, that's too much. Oops. Really? It's all one stroke? I doubt that counted as one stroke. You just want me to do that stroke over again, don't you? Yeah, okay, so it should be like that. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that comes around like that. Okay, yeah, that's much better. Here we can do the little curly cues. There we go. Just pair a little ribbon bow. And we're all good. Maybe just extend that a little bit. That's better. Alright, that's a good start, I'm thinking. Now we do a little seam on our jacket. Careful to follow the folds in the cloth. Get our little buttons. It's a jacket without our little buttons. Perfect. Now we can do that bow. Bam. There's our belt done. Release the buckle. Yeah, that doesn't look right. I think I'll just do Yeah. And just shunk, shunk. Bam. Belt complete. Let's see what her arms are up to. I think I gotta make her shoulders a little softer. There we go. That's better. I like strong shoulders as much as the next person, but it's just not what Shiloh's about. She's got more nice, slight, sloping shoulders, despite what the sketch will look like. There we go. Bam. Yep. You know what? I really like this design. I think it's really working. That's good. Because I like the last design I did for her, but I don't know. It's just a little too modern, I guess, for her. Because, I mean, my designs shift all over aesthetic wise, which makes a lot of my characters look really jarring, but the general vibe is, you know, like fantasy, medieval, Renaissance, Victorian, just like a mishmash of D&D and the Ren Fair, you know? That's the general vibe I'm going for. And while her look was good, it didn't really scream out as much um, D&D fantasy mage. Oops. Should have turned off notifications. But it's probably fine. I did that the first stream, but I was so prepped for this stream. I had everything ready to go, count down the seconds, and then made sure I had everything ready to go. And I guess I just forgot to turn off notifications. Oh well. I don't think it was anything important. I guess because I didn't know if the screen share would actually pick up on like stuff like that. Well, now I have my answer, and it's a yes. I'll check what that message was later. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Where was I? I was talking about, oh yeah, her previous design. Her previous design was just, I think, a little bit more modern, which kind of makes sense because I was using like modern gothy fashion as a reference for her outfit. So honestly, I should have seen that coming. But whether it's a new design or just a play around, Shilos is one of those characters that I can just whip out real quick. Because I don't know. Just something about her design, her general design is just appealing to me. book kind of filled in by drawing the hardest challenge of my life, a straight line. God bless you for predictive stroke. And then you betray me immediately afterwards. Such is my hubris. Like a Greek tragedy, I have a lesson to you all. Do not let your hubris get in the way. But anyway. We're just chillaxing. Bleh. It ought to be diagonal. That way. Yeah, perspective, baby. I just never asked me to draw a natural background in perspective. I will die. Always been much more a people artist as opposed to like a landscape architecture kind of thing. I had a friend growing up who was absolutely amazing at drawing architecture and stuff like that. Kind of lost touch with him recently, which is a shame. I hope he's doing well. Also doing just like not really random clothing fold lines, but just kind of going off vibes, you know. Like, yeah. I mentioned I like learned perspective and stuff in high school, but for the most part, I'm pretty much self-taught. I just kind of fed off of things around me, mostly anime and video games, and stuff like that. Is what like influenced my early style. And then like in school, I picked things up from art classes and whatnot, mostly in high school. I had a really chill art class in high school. He'd be like, today, or like our current project is perspective. Here's here's a thing on perspective rules. Work at your own pace. When you're done, come show me, and we move on to the next step. It's very chill, and we were allowed a lot of freedom in like what we would be able to do for our projects. Like I have several oil paintings of my characters and stuff that I did in art classes that he was like super chill about letting me do. Like it was kind of anime-y and stuff, but you know, he didn't let that get in the way. I had the teacher in college art class that I everyone despised. She was just insane, I think. But when we had to do like a portfolio review, it was all kind of, like portraits and still lifes. I did a portrait of my roommate, and I tried to make it as realistic as I could with my skill level at the time. I know it wasn't perfect, but just the comment from her of just being like, "Is this that anime style?" Just shivers down my spine. Ugh. She was also, and I think that same still life project, I had done a drawing because we had a pool table in our dorm, so I just kind of sat in the main dorm lobby and drew stuff there. One of the things I drew was like the 8 ball for pool, and her comment about it, like, very nice shading and perspective on the eighth sphere, and it just sounded so weirdly clinical. Like, it's an 8 ball. Like, are you unfamiliar with billiards? Because, like, even then, like, of all the billiard balls, the 8 ball's kind of like the most iconic one. But, and everyone calls it the 8 ball. I don't think outside of that uh grading comment have I ever heard it referred to as like the eighth sphere. It's so bizarre. Became just like an inside joke between my friends in college. It was the eighth sphere. Sounded like a weird discount JRPG plot MacGuffin. You must collect the eighth sphere in order to seal the great demon. Or you can just play billiards with it. I mean, it's up to you. You're the hero of the story and all that jazz. But yeah, my high school art teacher, I loved him. He was great. Taught me how to, yeah, for a lot of my stuff, like I said, the paintings, it would be on a canvas. And so what we do was I'd take the drawing that I had done on regular sized paper, and then through a series of zoom prints, I'd print out different sections of the drawing zoomed in, so it pieced together to be a larger drawing. And then I'd like carbon copy that onto the canvas and then paint on it. And I always thought that was such a cool technique, just sizing things up from my sketchbook onto a much larger canvas. It was neat. He was pretty cool. Also, he introduced me to Frank Frazetta, who fucking godlike fantasy artist. Pretty much told me about that because I think after seeing a lot of my own like original stuff, he's like, you might like this guy. His kind of exaggerated fantasy drawings seem kind of up your alley. And he was right. Frank Frazetta is great. One of my favorite artists, I'd have to say. He did a whole. I think, yeah, he's the guy who defined the look for like Conan the Barbarian, and I think he did illustrations for some copies of Lord of the Rings. But man, it's the kind of stuff you'd see like on classic 80s metal albums. Like really cool fantasy, like wizard, barbarian stuff. A man hated pants though. For men and women alike, just cheeks out all the time. The most muscular, well-defined buttocks in the fantasy world. Gotta give it to him. A man knew what he liked. And he did it. An inspiration to us all, I'd say. Now I have to do the zipper. That shouldn't be too bad. Just like do a zipper or like a seam line. And then do another seam line right next to it. Yeah. There we go. That's better. Then zigzag, zigzag. Zigzag, zigzag. That's what zippers are all about. Ah. Do this one at a time then, I guess. Because predictive stroke doesn't like it when I do 70 zigzags in a row. Or even one, maybe. There we go. And just a little crease along the edge. There we go. That's a lot of it down. Oh, well, I still got to do the staff. Here's how we're going to do the staff. I'm going to do a new layer. Where's my line tool? Shunk. Shunk. Easy peasy straight line. Then we just take an eraser to the part that we have to erase. And easy peasy. And now we can do the rest of it. Yeah, the thickness is a little wonky from everything else, but it's fine. I think it always does it on the maximum thickness for these things that have varying thicknesses. There we go. I only wanted just a regular diagonal line, please. Then a circle. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. There we go. What would I do without you, predictive stroke? Fixing all my shaky hand lines. I swear they're not that bad in pencil and paper, but something about digital art where just every slight unsteadiness of your hand is amplified and looks so much worse. Here, let me try to do this in stages. Okay, that's better. Yeah. There we go. Now they do the inside. Bam. There we go. Just kind of a basic staff. I think it works well. Alright. Is that everything? Oh. There we go. Yeah, I think we're good. Now I'll just fuse these layers. There we go. And now I can do my big boy thick outline. Gonna make it real thick. Oh, that's too thick. Too thick. How does that look? Could be thicker. There we go. That's a nice thick boy. I said I was thinking my lines were too thick earlier. I meant like the detail lines. I was thinking my thick boy lines weren't thick enough. Need that nice contrast. Between thick and thin. Just like that. Boom. Another. Hmm. These little encapsulated areas. I usually just do the whole thing black. I think it was Alphonse Mucha that I picked that up, but I don't know if he like pioneered that look. Stuff like that. Also makes like the general drawing seem thicker, which I'm always like to see. A little bit finer detail on her horn there. We'll swoop her head like that. And swoop another one like that. Bam. 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 Getting that real thick outline. We're having doing good. That's why I like this varying thickness kind of pens like this. This makes it easier getting into those little crevasses we always find in my little swoopy blady hair. Just instead of having to constantly change the size to get into there, I just give a little bit less pressure. And it all works out in the end. Right? Bam. Also helps me iron out. 'Cause there'll be a lot of gaps sometimes in my line work. Just me not connecting lines properly. And this nice big boy thick outline helps me fix a lot of like right there. Gap. If I can get it right. There we go. Gap, no gap. That looks a lot more cohesive. Like I actually know what I'm doing. Bam. 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 Oops. Bam. Just fill in the little dark right there. Oof. That's a tight little squeeze. But we got it. Easy peasy. Yeah, that was less good. Sometimes I do this after the coloring section, because I'll color out of the line sometimes. And I'll just make the thickness of the outline cover up a lot of that. Makes cleanup a whole lot easier. But I guess it doesn't really matter if I do that before or after. Another section we're just gonna color in completely because it's a little enclosed space. Oops, that could be better. That's the danger with doing these kind of thick outlines, is that sometimes if you're messy about it, you'll cover up a lot of finer outline detail. And I don't want to do that. I want to try to get nice thick outlines, but with as much nice detail as I can. So I worked hard on that detail. I don't want it to be covered up by this just black void. I want it to be accentuated by the black void. There's another closed-in spot we're coloring in. Could be a lot of that, I think, in this drawing. That's gonna make it fun. Yeah, I think I will do. Once I'm done with this, I'll do some more. I like to call. Well, I don't know if it has like a name or not for that kind of style, but just some simple line art shadowing in. I don't know if I can describe it that well with words, but when I get to it after this, well, you'll see. You'll all see. And hopefully I'll make myself understood. Because words are hard. As I've mentioned before, drawn a lot because I had ideas. I didn't know how else to express those ideas except visually. Because I could like describe this, but I don't think I'd get the same vision, or it would have the same effect as if I were to just draw it out. Although they're like, I do like write stories with these characters, and sometimes it's easier to write out a scene than it is to draw a scene and stuff like that. A lot more leeway with what you can do, but with what you can describe in the written word, and what you can show off visually. But you know, different mediums, different pros and cons, and all that. It's just what it's all about. Yeah, I think with this will be all done. Yep. Alright. Now we can go back to the smaller thing. I'll show you what I was talking about with like, here, let me do it like this. Just like, kind of like how I did with the nose right there. Just accentuating little dark shadows here and there. Yeah. This is what I meant when I said I might get carried away. I wasn't planning on doing this, but yet here I am. It's gonna be like another, I don't know, hour added to the stream because of this. Yeah, maybe not that bad. I'm a fast drawer. I might be able to eat this out real easy. Only gonna go for an hour and a half. I'm not even coloring yet. Where else can I do this? Oh, there we go. Right, I did. I knew I was doing this because I planted that little seed in there a while ago. There, here. Basically, wherever there's these little corners that I can just swoop in with that. Create a little black shadow. I don't know, it just adds a nice little something something to it all. Usually get a lot of it when I do the creases of clothing. Or like right here. Neck right there. And a little crease right there. Shoop. Oh boy. I don't know why I decided to do such a late stream. I'm very sleepy. I tried having some coffee before I began streaming, and now I'm just tired faster. Like my eyelids are droopy. And the brain's starting to crash. So I don't know. We might not get to coloring today, boys and girls and non-binary pals. Just have a little more detail to her hair. Shunk. Shunk. Yeah. I think from now on I might be doing more afternoon streams. Those are usually my best hours. I'm not really a morning person, and I get sleepy quickly. So I'm not really a night owl. I'm like an afternoon person. Hours of 11 to like 3 or 4, like peak energy levels. Anything after that is more like wind down time. So yeah, I think I might just be doing more afternoon streams from here on out. I'm still figuring things out here, you know? It's a learning experience. Like I said, I kind of rushed into this. Yeah. Without really a big plan. Just kind of doing it for fun. Something to do during the summer when I'm off from work. I do love having that school work schedule where I still get summers off. It's real fun. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Shilos' whole deal. Like I mentioned, she's part demon, she's part fae, or fairy. There's no consensus on that word. That's why I love it. Is it fairy? Is it fae? Is it fae spelt F-E-Y, F-A-E? There's no consensus. Everyone just kind of does whatever. That's fine. But it's sidetracked here. Shilos doesn't really know she's either of those things. She just kind of knows she's different. And when she kind of settles in, and after a big major battle with one of the big bads, she kind of gets a clue that maybe she's a fairy. Or something along those lines. So she goes out to the land of fairies, Sylvania, in my stories, to try to see if she can figure out where she came from. And she learns a whole lot about herself. And it's fun. She meets some cool people, including her like 7 or 8 other like half siblings. Cause boy, her mom, Titania, spoiler warning, queen of the fairies, she just kids for days. And she is overjoyed to be reunited with her long lost daughter. And it's very heartwarming. Till she figures out why she was long lost, and then it becomes a little bit more threatening. Well, not to Shilos. No. To the person who's responsible for Shilos being abandoned as a youngin'. I think I'll stick with that for now, and we can finally go into our coloring stages. So just start off with skin tone, just kind of like that. A little tan, a little neutral. Make this bigger just to save me bigger. More. Oh, 2 orange. There we go. A little bit more neutral. Okay. Orange are going to be a different color. We'll get to that. We'll get to that when we get to that. Is that too dark? It might be a little too dark. Let me try a little bit lighter. Just a smidgen lighter. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So we're gonna kind of stay with the gothy aesthetic, so we're gonna get a lot of darks. Not near black. Well, not blacks, but like near blacks. A lot of purples. Except for her hair, which is this nice shade of pink. Yep. All you pastel goths. Your scene. Oh shoot, I forgot to do her ear. There we go. Yeah, I don't know why. How I came to the color of pink for her hair, but it's just what it's always been in my mind, I guess. Man, I really like how her hair came out. If nothing else, the hair was worth this drawing alone. I could mess up every other part of this drawing, but this hair, I'm proud of this hair. I think it looks good. Yeah. And now let's see. It's purple, dark. Let's see, that's color I want for her horns, right? It could be a little darker. That's, I think, a little bit more dark. Yeah, I think that's what I want. Yeah. Well, no, that's perfect. Her hair's a lot more. Looking at Streamlabs, colors are a little bit off. Do I take off eye shield? Okay, yeah. Hair's a little bit more brighter than a. It's fine. I think it's good. That for ribbon. And little undershirt right here. That gloves under tights. Nice and easy. We're gonna make it real big. Yeah. That's what we call a big boy brush. Alright. Now we get to have fun with the rest of our outfit. I think her cloak's gonna be a little bit more neutral. Like this. Yeah. Could probably make them smaller now. Don't need it that big. Just like a raven's wings. Her namesake, Corvus. Her other namesake, Shilos. I mean, I've already kind of went in Corvus's constellation, the crow. But her first name, Shilos, is from Repo the Genetic Op. That's too dark. No, let me make this a little bit more red. Yeah. 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 The main heroine in Repo the Genetic Opera, Shiloh. I just really like. I think it was the first time I'd ever heard that name, and I'm like, oh, that's a cool name. Like I'll use it for something. That happens a lot with me. I see something cool, I'm like, ooh, that's going in the bin for later. That's inspiration fuel. Yeah, I really like that. Real kind of indie horror sci-fi musical. It's nice. I like it. I don't know if I'd recommend it, but like it's an acquired taste, I think. If you like the kind of industrial, gothy, kind of B horror style, then you might like it. It's no Hamilton, for better or for worse. But it's a fun little musical. And Terrence Zudnik, the director, writer, and player, the grave robber, who was an inspiration for a whole nother character of mine. He's done other stuff that I've really liked. The Devil's Carnival,